This video is about coterminal angle. Coterminal angles are angles that share the same starting and ending point, or starting and ending side. Okay, so they will start at the same place, and remember that they always start at the x-axis in the first quadrant and end at the terminal side. Okay, so for example, if we look at this angle in green, this is going in the clockwise direction, and remember that angles that go in the clockwise direction, those are negative. Okay, so it starts at the x-axis in the first quadrant and ends at this terminal side. Okay, the coterminal angle for this negative 310 must start at the x-axis in the first quadrant and end here. So essentially, coterminal angles are indefinite, they are endless. But if a restriction is given, then you gotta stay within that domain. Okay, so here's one of the coterminal angles. It starts here at the x-axis here and it ends here as well. Okay, so this 50 degrees would be a coterminal angle for this negative 310. And how do you get it? One way of getting it is that if you move from here to here, and that is 310, how much more would you need to be the negative 360? You would need negative 50 more. Okay, but because you're going in, and that would be from here to here, but because you're going in the counterclockwise direction, that would be the positive. Okay, so that's 50 degrees. All right, let's look at some examples. Example 1. It said find the coterminal angle between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. So this is your constraint. They restrict you. So the angle you get must be within this. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is draw a diagram to represent this thing here. All right, so here's your diagram. Here's your diagram. Now, because it is negative, you're going in the clockwise direction. Okay, if I start from here and I come all the way back here, that will be negative 360. But this says negative 330. So if I start here and I come all the way, I know that this is about negative 330. Okay, so if this would be my terminal side. That's my terminal side. Okay, so this would be my original angle, which is negative 330 degrees. Okay, now I want a coterminal angle within this domain. Okay, and it must start from my starting point here, which is my x-axis, and it must end here. So they must have the same starting point and they must have the same ending point. Okay, now how much more would I need on this negative 330 to reach negative 360? Because if I start here and I come all the way and end here, that will be negative 360. You'll see that I need negative 30 more. But because I cannot, negative 30 would be a coterminal angle, but it would not fall within this domain. Okay, so I cannot use that. So I'm going in the opposite direction. So if this is negative 30, it means that this would be positive 30. So that would be my angle there. That would be my coterminal angle for negative 330. And you see that it falls within this domain. There are several other angles you could find, several other coterminal angles you could find for this, but they would not fall within this domain. This is the only one that falls within this domain. So that is your answer there. Okay, next one. They say find a coterminal angle that is between 0 degrees and 360 degrees for this angle here. Now again, draw a diagram. Here's the diagram. It is positive, so I'm going counterclockwise. So this is 180. This is 360. Okay, how much more do I need on my 360 to reach 500? So here we go. So I hit my 500 and I subtract 360 from it, because 360 is the movement that I made. Okay, and that is telling me that I need 140 more degrees. Okay, and 140 degrees will fall in the second quadrant. So if I estimate where 140 is, 140 is about here. Okay, so I need to continue all the way here. So this is the additional piece. So my coterminal angle, remember that my coterminal angle must fall within this domain. Okay, so all I would do is subtract 360 from this. So I'm looking at these here. So once it is more than 360, to find my coterminal angle, and I want it within this domain, I will subtract 360 from it. So I realize that 500 is more than 360. So I subtract 360 from it. And if I take 360 from it, I'll get my 140. Okay? Which is the additional piece. If you look at it, that was the additional piece I needed from here to come here. Okay? And if you look at it also, the 500 starts here and it ended here. My 140 starts here, so they start at the same place and it ended here. Okay? So my coterminal angle would be 140 degrees, which is this here, and it falls within this category here. Okay? Within this domain. Okay? Alright. Next one. Let's look at it when it's given to us in terms of a radian. Now, as I said before, some people might have issue working with radian. So our first move, we need a diagram. But if you have trouble working in radian, you could convert this to degrees, so it's clearer. So let's convert that to degrees. If I have 15 pi by 4, I multiply that by 180 over pi. And then the pi, take out pi there, okay? And I would say 4 into itself goes 1, 4 into 18 goes 4, so, and 4 into 20 goes 5, okay? So what I would have now is 15 times 45, or you could just say 15 times 180 and then divide that by 4. So 15 times 180, that was there, equals that, and then I divide it by 4, and that would give us 675. So that's 675 degrees, okay? Now, to tell where that 675 is, it is positive, so I start here, and this is 180, and I come all the way around, that is 360, okay? So let's see how much more I need on this 360 to reach here, okay? So if I subtract 360 from this, so this is 675 minus 360, I know that I need 315 more, okay? So if I come all the way here, that's another 180, and if I come all the way to here, that would be 360. But I'm taking it all the way, I don't want it to 360, I want it to 315, so let's say that is my 315. So that would be my diagram there, okay? But, so this is my diagram. Now, again, this is more than 360. Remember, 2 pi is the same as 360, okay? I can put a 360 here. So what I need to do, I need to subtract 360 from this. So if I subtract 360 from this, let's go there. So I have 675 minus 360, and that would give me 315. Okay? Is 315 within this domain? Is it within 0 and 360? Yes, it is. So my coterminal angle would be 315 degrees, which would be the additional piece. When you went around one revolution, the additional piece that you needed, this was the additional piece you needed. So you still started at your x-axis in your first quadrant, the additional piece, and you still ended here at your terminal side. Okay? So your coterminal angle would be 315 degrees. Okay, but remember that it was given in radians, so you need to convert this to radian. Okay, so let's convert that to radian quickly. So it is 315 degrees times pi by 180. Okay, and so this would give us 315 pi by 180, and you could reduce this thing. We could reduce this thing by 5. So 5 into 315. Let's do that quickly. 315 divided by 5, and that would give us 63. So this would be 63 pi divided, let's see what is 180 divided by 5. So 180 divided by 5, and that is 36. Okay, again, if we look at 36 and 63, we realize that they are both divisible by 3. So I could say 3 into 6 goes 2, 3 into 3 goes 1, 3 into 3 goes 1, 3 into 6 goes 2. So what I would really have is 21 pi by 12. And this would be your final answer there. Okay? That would be your final answer there. Alright, let's look at the final question here. So our final question is, we want the coterminal angle for this, but it still must be within this domain here, okay? So our diagram would be, again, let's go the degree route, since most people seem to agree that better. They understand that one more, so let's use that one. So we're going to convert this to degrees first, okay? So it would be negative pi by 6 times 180 over pi, and this pi would take out that pi. 6 into itself goes 1, 6 into 18 goes 3, so that is 30. So this would give us negative 30 degrees, okay? Now, because it is negative, we know we're going in the clockwise direction, okay? So we're going to estimate that 30 degrees is about here, all right? So this would be your negative. This would be your negative pi by 6, okay? So this part is your negative pi by 6, okay? Now, we need an angle that is within this domain, okay? It must start from here and it must end here, okay? So we want it to be positive, so we go counterclockwise. So we're still starting from here and it come and end right here, okay? So how we can get that? Remember that if we come from here and come all the way around here, that will be 2 pi, okay? So if we subtract this thing from it, we would get what the answer is. But again, we could look at it in this regard, all right? So if we have 360 and we take 30 from it, it would be 330, okay? And we can convert the 330 in terms of radian. So this would be 330 degrees, all right? So let's see what 330 is in terms of radian. So here it is, 360 minus 30 degrees, so that is 330 degrees. So we're going to change this now to radian. So 330 times pi over 180, and we could say that 0 take out that 0 there. So we could say 3 into 33 goes 11, and 3 into 18 goes 6. So we would have 11 pi by 6, okay? So this coterminal angle would be 11 pi by 6. All right. Have a fantastic day.